Visit the state of welfare in Kentucky. Lines a dozen cars deep outside banks in the middle of the night. Police in a handful of cities say when those crowds gather on the first of the month, crime rates go up. WKYT's Kristen has spent the last 4 months tracking down information about these lines, the reason for them, and the danger behind them, and why a perfectly legal way to get government assistance is looking criminal to some legislators.
We're in the middle of a blizzard at 1 in the morning on the first of the month, and we're not alone.
Are you guys waiting out the storm here?
Yeah, it's cold.
Lines are growing at each of the 3 banks on Highway 25.
Yeah, they line up to get money in case we need some groceries, I guess.
You'd think they were giving out free money.
Well, see what it is, it ain't time for money. Get on the card.
But the ATM's open, isn't it?
Yeah, but in the morning it won't be.
Oh, at 9 it won't?
No, I don't know.
What card is it?
It's Direct Express.
Direct Express is a prepaid debit card, the government's recommended way to receive federal benefits if you don't have a bank account.
At 1 o'clock is when the money is posted on our debit cards.
They're benefits the government gives to disabled adults with limited income or someone unable to work because of a disability.
Believe it or not, $700 isn't a lot of money to live on.
To qualify, they have to decide that your condition is severe, that it's found under their list of disabling conditions, that you can no longer do the work you did previously, and that you can't do any other type of work. Every one of these vehicles swiped a Direct Express card into this ATM to pull out hundreds in cash.
When you're trying to live on $700, you got to pay a $450 rent, a $150 utility bill, you got a $50 water bill. You know, it's just you're broke at the end of the month, so you come and you get your money.
I don't know what they were getting ready to go do.
We showed our video to a handful of legislators, and State Representative Jonathan Schell
always had this rule that anything past 10 o'clock, nothing good can happen.
Was the only one willing to talk with us about what he saw on camera.
Anymore, whenever you need something, you're not going to your neighbor for help, you're not going to your church for help, and you're not going to yourself to help. You're going to the government for help.
In Kentucky, more than 900,000 people get government assistance. That's about 21% of our state. And that does not include people on temporary state assistance like KTAP or TANF.
It's particularly galling that it's made so easy to just gain access to cash. You're going to take good people and with that kind of temptation open up the door to all kinds of abuse.
Tea Party activist David Adams had just as many questions as we did after watching our overnight interviews. Why are people allowed to withdraw federal assistance by the hundreds, and why in the middle of the night? In the last 3 months of writing emails, requesting information, and making phone calls,
you go at 9 in the morning on the 1st.
We finally got in touch with the Treasury. They oversee Direct Express. They hadn't heard of any recipients lining up to withdraw funds, but weren't surprised. It is legal.
We knew the funds were available right away. That's actually one of the advantages of electronic payments. But we had never heard about people actually forming up early in the morning before normal business hours.
They seemed more concerned about the safety of people getting such a large amount of cash at night.
We would counsel people to use the benefits as they need them. Keep the balance on your card because that way it's safer than carrying cash.
But here's what police and court record keepers are telling us. In a handful of small towns, they're dealing with a noticeable increase in arrests during the overnight hours on the first of the month. No police departments would comment on camera, but they would confirm that information.
Why don't you just go tomorrow at like 9 a.m.?
And we just do it every night because we might not get out in the morning. See, we live like up in a holler. We got a certain time on the rent and electric, and because they'll cut it off, they don't care.
Have you ever went to an ATM at 9 a.m. on the first of the month? There's a line about twice as long as this.
It's 9 in the morning on the first of the month, and there is absolutely
No line today for the ATM.
That was on April 1st. Went to the same banks we visited back in February, and the longest we had to wait in any line was 12 minutes.
No line at this bank either.
Far less than that overnight wait 2 months earlier. In Knox County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Representative Shell is passionate about this issue and about passing 2 proposals in Frankfort, drug testing welfare recipients and creating a sliding scale for working parents to continue to get benefits until they make enough on their own.